Time Zones, your book review podcast. Enjoy!
Hey people, this is Renee A. Moses, and this is our new podcast. This is our very first episode, so to start off, we want to just introduce ourselves so that you guys know who we are, where we're from, and how we got into reading like nerds. No, I'm joking. I mean, yeah. So first, I'll let Bridget introduce herself to you guys.
This is Bridget Gathers. Well, I'm from Houston. I was born and raised there. I moved away to join the Air Force for 4 years, and that's where I met my husband. 22 years later, we're still here. Okay, currently live in Augusta, Georgia. I have 2 adult children. Let's see, when did I fall in love with reading? I really didn't start reading until I moved out and joined the Air Force. After being in for a year, that's when I picked up the book and started to travel through my mind. I used to travel through my mind. And I guess that's when I picked it up, and I loved it ever since, and still doing it to this day.
Yeah, awesome. And I always like to ask if you know or remember your first book, the first one that you picked up, or the first one that you just got caught on to, the first of your memories of like your love for reading.
My reading goes way back. I'm 46, so that's been a long time ago. But I'm just going to pick one, The Shack. It's a Christian novel that I loved so much. And it just took me. It took me and it wrapped me up in the words. And I found myself in those different locations. And I loved it. So just continue on reading for me.
Yeah, I haven't read that book, but the movie had me crying like a baby. I do remember that. I would read the book if I didn't know what was going to happen, and now I'm scared to read it because I should have saw the movie. Okay, and another member of same book, 3 Time Zones, is Talisha. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Talisha. I am 26 years old, and I have 2 daughters, Jordan and Gabrielle. They're 4 and 3, almost 3. And yeah, I fell in love with reading when I was about 12 years old. I didn't like what was going on in my life, so reading just got me away from it. And my grandmother had a lot of romantic books in her house, and I read them all. I don't remember the first book I've read, but I really love the Twilight series. I read it several times.
Okay. I'm Renee Moses. I'm also from Houston, and I currently live in Minnesota, south of St. Paul. I have 3 children, 10, 6, and 4, and my husband and I have been married almost 11 years now. I'm a new author, so as far as you know, I know I love to write literally my entire life. I really did. But by the time I started reading just to read, I was about 17 years old. We had a pretty boring summer right after I graduated, and getting on my mom's nerves, I asked, what can I do? I'm bored. And her first thing to tell me to get me out of her face was go read a book. And I didn't take it seriously at first until I kept bothering her, and that's all she kept telling me. So I just went to her collection, and I chose one. And the first one I picked up was The Coldest Winter Ever. She had a large collection of romance novels, and a lot of them were not people, who look like us, which is okay. I'm not hating or anything. But to read the ones that did, those are the ones I kind of gravitated towards. And it changed a lot for me, because reading I used to just correlate with learning and education. It was boring when you didn't, you were forced to do it. But to actually sit down and pick a book and get lost into somebody else's life or whatever they went through, that's what made me fall in love with it.